welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, I, a 28-year-old male, with my fiancée, a 27-year-old female. About a month ago, I overheard her tell a friend her previous ex was the best lover she ever had. And guys, this story, which is two parts, this is part one, and don't worry, don't freak out, I won't make you wait till tomorrow to see part two. Part two will be a few hours later tonight. This is about a guy, he ultimately ends up kicking his fiancée to the curb as he finds out that through her actions and words that she's still hung up on her ex. And you're going to see, guys, this comes about him overhearing a conversation with her talking to her friends how her ex was the best lover she ever had. And before you think that this guy's just an insecure little crybaby because she said, oh, he's the best she ever had, or he had a big you-know-what down there, it's more than that. There's more going on here, and he knows it. And that'd be a very good one to go over here, guys, to show you that, one, to demonstrate, again, how girls ultimately will settle for the nice guy. They want to be married. They want to ultimately be married to the bad boy that gives them the butterflies and the tingles. That doesn't work because those guys aren't marriage material. So eventually they'll settle with the nice guy. And how the nice guys sometimes learn early on, thank the Lord, that the girl settled for them. And no guy wants a gal is going to have a girl that settled for him, but still be hung up on her ex. Because it means it's going to be a crappy marriage. She's never going to love him. She's never going to treat him the same as the other guy. And certainly he ain't going to get the same bedroom action. And as men who are trying to better ourselves and have good lives, why should we have some chick that's settling for us? There's a lot of important things in this story here, and you'll see more as I get into this. So this is part one, and again, I'll do part two in a few hours, so nobody freak out in the comments section. So starts off, he says, it was quite by accident that I heard this. We had a group of friends over the other night, and it went on, and we all kind of bustled into our own little groups. Some of us were in one room playing Texas Hold'em, and a couple others were watching a Lord of the Rings marathon. That's a long party if you're watching a Lord of the Rings marathon. Good Lord. I thought she was watching the movies, but she and one of her close friends were actually sitting in the kitchen, drinking coffee and talking. Our group had run out of soda, so I got up to the kitchen to get drinks and a couple of snacks. As I'm rounding the corner, I heard my fiancée talking, and before I completely come in the room, I heard her clearly say, now listen to this, Jason is great, but he will never be the lover that Bill was. She then followed by saying, it's not really fair to Jason though, Bill was just really gifted down there. At first, I thought about just walking back into the card game and pretending like we didn't have any extra soda or food, but I decided to kind of make noise and go in. Her friend caught eye of me rounding the corner, and I could hear her make a face to my fiancé, letting her know I was there. Well, if there isn't a problem, why is she making a face? Of course, she has no idea I heard her, and she just stops talking to her and asks me how I'm doing and if I'm having fun. I was tempted to say something like, I'm having as much fun as someone who's not gifted down there can, but I didn't. I just said yes and proceeded to get my stuff and go back and finish the night. I just acted like nothing was wrong the rest of the night and went to bed. So that's insulting to find out that your girl who you're going to marry thinks that pretty much in no way, shape, or form are you going to be like her ex. Well, pretty soon, guys, you're going to find out some interesting details about her ex. Now, remember, guys, it's one thing if a guy and a gal break up, and usually it's her breaking up. But when women have the guy break up with them, that's a whole different ballgame, because women can't take rejection, and they respond in two ways. Either they become obsessed with the guy who broke up with them because he rejected them, or two, they hate his guts and try to make his life a living hell. In all sorts of ways you can imagine. Well, wait till you see which one this is. It says here, needless to say, it effed me up. I mean, effed me up bad. I've never been jealous of what you would call insecure about myself until that moment. I couldn't sleep that night, and I went through a myriad of emotions while laying there. At first I was angry, then I was humiliated, then I was depressed, then I was angry once again. He says, look, I realize that the male ego seems stupid to women, and even guys who are totally self-assured. I would have agreed with most of it prior to that night, but once it's been damaged, it's a bitch. What is with the sirens today? Good Lord. I'm recording a bunch of videos, and every video is going to have sirens today. Y'all must think I live in the hood. I don't. The hospital's down the street. I tried to hide any form of emotion about it or even let her know, but as days went on, I just kept getting worse and worse. I was avoiding her at all costs, and while she was suspicious, she didn't really say anything. That is until she attempted to be intimate with me a few days later, and I flat out rejected her. Rejected her. Remember what I said about rejection. It wasn't by conscious decision on my part, by the way. I made the decision on my own to just try and get over it and move on. But in the moment, instead of being sexually aroused, I felt deeply inadequate and ashamed. Nothing has happened no matter how much of either of us have tried. No guy wants to hear that he's bad in bed. But let's be honest, most guys are bad in bed. Or to hear a gal insult the size of his package. Now, statistically, most guys are under 6 inches. Statistically. But here's the deal. Guarantee you, the ex was the bad boy type, as you're going to find out. A nice guy like this could have 12 inches down there. He could have 12 inches down there and last a long time and really give her a lot of fun in the sack. But still, the nice guy isn't going to, on an emotional level, give her that thrill that the bad boy will. We all know this. So if you have a guy that's well endowed, can last a long time, is adventurous, can throw around the room, that literally the bed's shaking and paintings are falling off the wall, and you get the point, and on an emotional level, give her the butterflies, that's the perfect deal for her. But nice guys usually cannot do that. In fact, they can't. And when a girl's longing for that, that damages the male ego. But also, a man realizes, I think she's settled for me. This isn't going to be a good situation to marry someone like this. And guess what? If a woman found out that her guy thought that his ex, a girl who dumped him, did all these great things and he saw her different than her, she'd have a problem too. She asked me what was wrong, and I just told her I must have been stressed from work, but she did not believe that or let it go. So much to my humiliation, I lay there, naked in bed, unable to get hard. I came clean and told her what I had heard. Here we go. Well, this did not go over very well at all. At first, she tried to tell me that I did not hear her correctly. What a load of crap. He heard the whole thing. But I just repeated to her verbatim what she had told her friend. Well, once she couldn't deny it, she tried to apologize, and to her credit, she tried to listen to my feelings on the matter. Which, once again, I'm sure was a big turnoff for her because I was a wreck emotionally. You cry in front of your girl, pour out your emotions, do all that, yeah, it's going to turn her off. He has a reason to say what he has to say, but the point is, when a guy pours out his emotions, cries, does all that stuff like that, essentially, in her eyes, that's seen as weakness, whether she realizes it or not. That's why they don't go pouring out your feelings and crying and all that stuff in front of your girl. It turns them off. And by the way, I have to mention something. Notice that she was telling her friend about the size of his you-know-what and bedroom action and all that. Women can't keep secrets, guys. I guarantee your girl or wife, her friends, someone knows the size of your sausage. Someone knows how you perform in bed. Someone else knows what gets you going. Guaranteed. They cannot keep secrets. And by the way, I did a video on my Clips channel, SSM Clips, which you also sign up for, by the way, yesterday, and it's a different story than this, and I made the same point. And I got some people saying, SSM, that's not true. I never told any of my girlfriends about that. Yeah, sure. Someone knows the size of your husband or boyfriend's you-know-what. She tried to tell me how much of a better person I was and how satisfied her and she wanted nobody else. But all I could hear was Charlie Brown's teacher's noise. How much of a better person? Yeah, he's the nice guy, the provider. He has resources. It's been almost a month and I have zero desire to be with her sexually. None. She's now getting frustrated about this as well, but no matter what I tried, I cannot get past this at all. It's not like she said we both were good lovers or anything like that. She clearly said he was far superior, and my guess is being gifted down there means he was significantly larger than me as well. Well, I know I can do all kinds of things with my hands, tongues, and whatever else, but no matter what I can do, I can't grow in size. Obviously, she refuses to talk about that with me, saying that no matter what she says, it will only make things worse, because even if she says something positive about me, I won't believe her. She's most likely right. He can't take back what he heard. And he knows darn well this isn't just about the size, okay? And by the way, women say size doesn't matter. That's bullshit. Let me just say that now. Believe me, they prefer definitely a bigger down south. It's about her, obviously, the connection she had with that guy, and he knows it. He fucking knows it. God, trust your gut. He says, now we're going to get into the details about the ex, which will make everything make sense. He says, some backstory here. He dumped her. It was not a mutual breakup. He flat out dumped her and broke her heart. I know this because early in our relationship, she told me this. She said she wasn't ready to be serious about anybody because her previous ex left her and emotionally broke her. So this is not a case of me even being able to say, well, she's with me because she wants to be. If he hadn't dumped her, she would never have left him. Now, I have no idea if after all these years she would leave me for him, but if he would come back, I don't think she would. So, now we're getting somewhere. The ex dumped her. And in a moment, you're going to see, because I'm going to spoil it, the ex dumped her for another woman. That does stuff to people. That does stuff to a woman. So he's obviously bigger down south, the lover, and obviously he dumped her. She has emotional attachment. And she got with this guy, because obviously she's getting older in life. You heard her age in the beginning of the story. And guarantee you, this dude came back, she kicked this guy the curb like that. And he knows it. Therefore, he's questioning whether he should be with her. So it's not just about the size of the dude's you-know-what, or his performance in the bedroom. We all can't be like PORN stars in the bedroom, as much as we try, because you can't change anything about down there. So it isn't just about his size, and how he is in the sack, and how he's knocking the paintings off the walls when he's doing her. It's also about how she feels emotionally with that guy. And it's not with this, and he doesn't want to settle for that. I just don't know what to do here, he says. I can feel myself checking out of the relationship. I know this is pretty petty as shit, but hearing this person you love tell someone else that they prefer to have SCX with someone else is just devastating to me. Her telling me all my other good qualities has only made it worse, because she's saying that I think appeal to her, and maybe other women being told I'm a good provider and will make a great husband makes me feel like shit. See? She's essentially saying you're a good provider and you're the nice guy, you'll be a good husband and good father. That's what all the guys get that the gals settle for. And how are those guys treated? Like, what would happen if I lost my good paying job? Or better yet, what if I were injured and couldn't make anything more than state assistance? Would she be there to support me and help me? Basically, what I feel right now is a really good friend she just allowed to have SCX with. I know in my head that this is not correct, but my heart is how I feel. His heart knows. And he had a good point. What happens if I lose my job? Are you still going to be there for me? Are you going to still think I'm a great provider and husband? Or what if I get injured and I'm on state assistance? Are you going to stick around? Probably not. And what happens if this dude comes back wanting her back? Boom, she's out of there. He says, I'm sorry for the length here, and I don't even know what I'm asking here. I'm totally lost, and if this continues, I just think I'm going to break our engagement. If you feel this is not the right choice for you, yes, break your engagement. I would. Absolutely, but I would have been the guy that got back with the girl so quickly after her breakup, and she's damaged. Now he's going to give little edits and updates here before I finish this story about the situation, him, her, and all that. He says here, there are a few issues I want out there because there are other couple things that are being said that are not accurate. He says, number one, she was to use Barney Gumbel's phrase using sweet, sweet drunk talk. In other words, she and her friend were drunk while talking. Nope, neither of us were drunk. We don't even have it in the house. Okay, yeah, they were having coffee. She said this to her friend, not when they were drinking, but they were sober. Some people thought that she was drinking. Number two, that I'm upset that she told her friend. Well, this is an odd thing. Before I posted this, honestly, I wasn't that upset about that part. I was then, and I still am far more upset that this is how she feels. However, now reading a lot of the posts, I've become somewhat aggravated that she did share this with her friend. I would never say anything about her to anyone and put her in a lesser light. Well, yeah, but like I said, girls can't keep secrets. You married guys or relationship guys, if there's something you do not want out there, do not tell your wives or girlfriends, because they always have to have one girl that they tell. It's the age-old, I gotta tell somebody. You can't tell anything. Don't tell anybody. She tells her friend. Then her friend knows this juicy information, and she has that friend and says, don't tell anybody, but I gotta tell you. And then she tells that friend, and then it's a ripple effect. Do not tell her things you don't want to get out there. And yes, someone out there knows the size of you know what and what you prefer and all that. I know I'm going to get shit about this, but I'm telling you now, girls can't keep secrets. Number three, people were saying that I'm an insecure man-child who should just man up and learn to do better. Well, I'm certain the first part is true, being insecure and all, but the last part is just out of my control. No matter what I do, I'll never ever be 7 inches long. We've even talked about this, by the way, when she was trying to build me up. She said I was already great with everything, but one thing I can't control. He says, okay, so I gave myself about a half an inch to feel better. It ain't about the size. Number 4, no, I'm not going to do anything rash. It's been a month, so it's not like it happened last week. But yes, I have to decide what I'm going to do here before long. It's not fair enough to either of us. I'm just coasting through this and no longer committed. And number 5, she said she is sorry I heard it. She said she is so sorry she said it, but at the end of the day, she would not be sorry if I didn't catch her saying it. It is what it is. But yes, I do believe she is regretting it because she's basically been a mess ever since I first told her. Me not wanting to be with her is bothering her a lot, according to her. See? She can't take the rejection. She's like, oh my God, I'm being rejected again. I don't know how much of that I believe right now. I guess I don't know why she would lie. It really wrecked hell out of our Christmas spirit this year. I know that. And she's probably also thinking, oh, this is going to work out again. And I'm in my late 20s and I want to get a guy before I turn 30. It'll be hard for me to find a man. And he says also, I'm an engineer. For those who keep asking what I do for a living, she is a paralegal. Another edit. He says, people have been asking about the relationship with the ex and how I know she was heartbroken. Now listen to this. More details here. We met about 9 months after they separated. I know that ultimately he wanted to be with someone else, although she has claimed he never cheated. So he dumped her for another woman. That definitely did a thing to her. He just ended things so he could be with another woman. She approached me at a local workshop and we started dating. On our 4th date, when things started to get physical, she broke down crying about the ex. He should have ran for the freaking hills at that point. She is damaged. She's hooked on that other guy. That is not a place to be. Yes, everybody has breakups, but you don't even bother getting involved until they're definitely over the ex. And let's be honest, guys, if you had a gal that had a guy break up with her and she's heartbroken over that, be aware her heart's always going to be somewhat on him, especially if he comes back. It was certainly weird to hold someone when they cried about someone else, but I did it. Smack! And right there, she knew she found her nice guy. Holding her when she's crying about some other dude. Come on, dude. We sporadically dated for a couple more months, in which time I never tried to cross any boundaries physically because it was obvious she wasn't over him. So while we just went out on dates, I tried to keep to myself of the mind that we were just friends because I didn't want to commit either. So he's dating her on and off for months. He still hasn't gotten any. And she's hooked on her ex and she's crying about her ex. Never do that, guys. After close to 2 months, she drags me from my car to her apartment and begins to tell me how much she has appreciated my patience with her and how she felt stupid about dragging me along for so long. Obviously, that was our first night together. Within 3 months of that, she's telling me that she loves me. In 3 months? Come on. See how she was still hung up on her ex for the fact when we got together. I hoped that she was over him before this happened. And it says, edit number 5. Okay, I post it below in the mass of other posts, but I've also started a new post and hopefully the moderators let it stay open. So anyway, guys, there you go. It isn't about the size of his you-know-what. It isn't about how he's plowing her in the bedroom. It's about the fact that she obviously was dumped by him for another woman. She was attached to him for ages. This guy dated her knowing full well she still was attached to that guy. You heard the whole thing there. And now it's all making sense to him. He should not marry her. He should not be engaged to her because this is going to be a problem. Classic example, the gal settling for the nice guy because the bad boy didn't want her. And there's a whole lot of that out there. And again, even if he didn't have, even this guy here could have a bigger you-know-what than that dude and be good in the bedroom. Still, on an emotional level, he's not going to make her feel the same way as the other guy did. Therefore, that's why the other guy's the best she ever had because A, he was bigger down south. B, I'm sure he lasted a lot because he's probably used to it. And C, he gave her the tingles, the butterflies, and he gave her the excitement that the bad boy does. And that was made him the best lover ever. This guy, nice guys can never give the gals the same tingles or butterflies that the bad boy does. So anyway, we're going to go on to part 2 later because I'm not going to film another 20 minutes here. I need to take a break. A few hours from now, I'll do part 2 to see where this whole thing ends, and let's just say it doesn't end well for her. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.